Hey everyone, welcome to Thoughts of Treasures. My name is Connie and this is my craft room. Welcome in. If you guys are new, please be sure to hit that follow or subscribe button depending on where you're watching from. Make sure you do not miss on any of the videos that I post. I usually do about 3 or 4 per, mostly 4, about 4 per week, depending on what it is. Currently we're working on a lot of wood kits, and tonight we are going to be working on this. This is actually, I know it's tiny, it's small, little, what you gonna do with this? This is part of a set of 4. There's Gather, Hello Fall, Sweater Weather, and just like a framed pumpkin. This is just one of the 4. If you want more information on this set, you can comment, just comment acorn. Acorn. Just comment that, and I can get that information to you. Now, if you're asking what do you guys do with this, for those that already have these pieces, you don't need to purchase anything more. These are interchangeable. However, you can just get this alone. You do not need to get what I'm going to show you in a second. You can just simply, there's 3 different things. I don't have the 3rd thing because I did sell it, and well, you know, I didn't get a chance to make a new one. But there's 3 things that this will fit into. These are interchangeable. These are 4 1/4 inch squares. And the first thing that it's going to go into is this little square sign. Okay, it's just a little decorative. You can just put it on a little easel and you have your little decorative signs. They just come out, you put your new one in. It does provide you a little hole here so that if something gets a little stuck, but these do fit in there really, well, not like that. They do fit in there really nice when you put them in the correct way, and they'll stay in there for you. So anyway, that's the first one. So it's just our little decorative sign, square sign. Then the other thing that we have is our little fence. Okay, this is, again, you know, you can just prop it up against the wall. You can put it in a little easel thing, whatever you want. But they just simply slide right on it in there. And it does have a little hole back here. So if, you know, you want to pop it out, but like I said, most of the time you can either just do, I get it, the hole needs to be there, but you can just do this. You know, it comes right out. So they're not like they're stuck in there at all. They just do fit in there nicely. You just, you know, I mean, you can sit it up straight, but you want to have it a little bit leaning so it doesn't fall out. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to put this, and then I'll show you what it's going to look like in both of these. And then the other one I have is a post stand. So if you want information on that, or you're kind of interested in knowing what that one looks like, just say post stand, and I can get that for you. I can send you the information, but we're going to paint this little guy up. Now, here's something to know about my kits. If you are new to me, again, welcome in. Make sure you hit that subscribe or follow button so you don't miss out on any of the fun stuff. Every Sunday, or every other Sunday, I do a live sale, and that consists of wood kits. This was actually just in our last one. Wood kits, printables, stickers, decals, DTF transfers, just all kinds of different things. Pencils, I did engrave pencils. You know, I just try to add a little bit of fun to each one. And we're gonna put all our little pieces on this tape first. But now I don't know where I was going with the beforehand. Oh well, we'll come back to it. If you guys, if I said I would get back to it and didn't, just comment and I'll get back to it. But here's the one thing about these kits. Maybe that's what I was talking about. With these kits, anything that this is 1/8 inch pieces, this is a 1/4 inch piece. All the 1/4 inch pieces at this current time is masked, which means it has a layer of tape on top. Honestly, it's easier for you guys to pull it off than me doing 100 of them. So I'm not doing it. I got kind of that time. It's just a 2-person business over here, and we don't have time for that. But this way, it also lets your wood, it protects your wood. So, you know, when I do send these kits out, they are wrapped. However, you know, you might take it out and let it sit there, but it just kind of protects the wood. Nothing's going to get on it. It's not going to get all icky-fied. So, you like that word, icky-fied? I do. So just something to, and it comes right off. It's just little tape. I'm just using a little weeding tool. If you don't have one of these, you can use a dental pick. You can go to Dollar Tree and spend $20. No, I'm sorry. I think they're still $1.25. Things at the Dollar Tree are going up. I mean, Go there now, grab them, because who knows what they're going to be like in another month or so. I tell you, it's going crazy around this world. But if you do not get all the pieces off, you will find that out in the end, or not really in the end, when you start painting. When you start painting, it's going to start getting this tape wet, and it's going to bring it up, and you're like, oh shoot, I forgot to. It's okay. Just go back and go ahead and pull it up and repaint it. So this is the hardest part, when there's just all of these. This is what's called scored. The laser does score, it engraves, and it cuts. This kit is only scored marks, and I'll show you the difference. This is scored for placement. And then I have one over here that we're going to need for decorative purposes. And I'll show you that in a second. That was on the top of the... Make sure there's nothing on that. On the top of the acorn. The acorn. So, I mean, you can pull this off with your fingers. I just don't have any fingernails to get under it. So, some people, you know, they don't want to use their expensive fingernails to do stuff like that because, you know, they cost money. I don't even have that, but mine just don't grow. So, there, this part right here is it's called the take two. Strike that from the record. This part right here is just solely for placement purposes. I'll just leave it on tape. This, we're going to use that for decorative, so we don't want to get that messed up, and also on our leaf. Okay, so those are just score marks that we're going to need to keep it for later. Alright, I'm going to start very simple. We're going to do our back black. Why? Because it needs to be finished. So I'm going to grab me some black. We'll use this plate up a little bit. And I do this to all my pieces. I know some people are like, ugh, black. You can do it a different color. You can do it whatever color your little heart desires. I'm just going to keep it black. You can also, with these kits, you can also just get regular squares, which I do sell separate. And, you know, you can decoupage on them. You can paint on them. You can have your children paint different things. They're just fun little kits. And the stands just make them really unique. So again, like I said, you don't have to have the stands for these. You can put them just in your tier tray or your dough bowl, or, you know, just to have little easels around. And there's just so many different options for these. And we'll put that in there. I'm going to get this dry and we'll do the front. Now, for the front portion, you know, you're going to get an inspiration picture with each of these kits. Now, when you get this, if you just want, like I said, it comes in a set of 4. If you only want the one, you're still going to get the picture of the other 3. That's just the way that it's set up. If you want to later on get the other 3, you know, there's no set time limit on it. Like, it can be winter and you can do fall stuff. It doesn't bother me, just let me know. I am not judging. If you want to do winter stuff in fall and fall stuff in summer, it doesn't matter to me. Technically it's summer right now, so we're doing fall stuff, but you always got to be a season ahead. Alright, I am going to, and again, this is just for placement purposes. I don't really need to know where these score marks are. Sometimes some kits come with them, some don't. It just all depends on who does it. I don't make these myself. I can adjust them, but I like to keep them on if they're there. Then that way, you know, one person doesn't get it, one person does, and somebody does one. I just leave it as it is. But we're going to use a fun red color, and I'm hoping this is going to work. This is called Flamenco Red. It's more of like a dark, I think of it as a fall red. So I'm just going to put some on my plate. I'm going to get another little, and we're going to do the whole front in this red fall, red color. And like I said, I'm not worried about this paint getting into these creases and crevices of this gathering acorn because we're not using it for that. This is, you know, I'm going to try to line it up as much as I can. Hopefully cover everything, but sometimes when you use dark colors, you do cover up your score marks. I'm going to dry that and I'm going to give it another coat. And I'm going to take some, probably take some black around the edges. So now, we're only currently working on fall. If you want to go to my website, I have done different seasons, different, lots of different things for different seasons. For like flamingos for the summer. We've done, you know, we've done a whole bunch, and if you're, you know, you can't find what you're looking for on the website, just ask. I can definitely find more for you. I put them in my live sales. So my website, just to let you guys know, my website is not set up as a purchasing site. It's more of a blog site. And we do a live sale every other Sunday. That's where I showcase all of this stuff. Okay. So I think, yeah, we're just going to put that in there. So I'm going to get this dry. I really like this red. I think it's really, really pretty. It's not your average bright Christmas red. It's called flamenco. I guess that's how you say it. Flamenco? 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 I don't know. It's a really cool color. Let me show you the name of it. And I am going to give this, I always do this, it just helps when we're going to glue this on later, to give us a little bit. We're not sanding anything off, we're just sanding down. I think we're going to perfect with that. You can still see your score marks, which is awesome. And we're going to put that to the side. Now, we're going to come on, no, actually I want to do one thing before we stop. I'm going to take, we're going to take some black. No. Yeah, let's take some black. I'm just going to give this a little bit of an outline around it. Is that good? I want to get some on there. So I'm just taking my little sponge brush, putting some on, taking off, and we're just going to go around. Just see it's like that. Not so much to make it noticeable, but just enough to give it a little bit of something. And I'm just going over the whole, just around the edges. You can always go back if you want to put more on. It just kind of gives it a little bit of an outline around the edges, and now we're going to let that dry by itself. Alright, now we can move on to our little pieces, and let's see what we got here. This is going to hit, I think I'm going to do this one in white. I'm going to do my, I don't know if it's going to be a great color or not, but I'm going to use cashew for my acorn. I think it's going to look good. I'm pretty sure it's going to look good. That's a little down too far. I don't know. I'm hoping it's going to dry nicely. And then for our top, I'm going to try. This is a new color I got, and it's called hazelnut. No, sorry, it's called chestnut. I can't read. I'm going to try that for the top. We're not going to go dark with it. We're just going to give it a little bit of a, I mean, you can use, like I said, it doesn't matter what colors you use. I mean, is it too light? I don't know, it might be. To go look at one outside that's fallen on the ground. And then, of course, I'm going to do the, I should do that. Let's just grab a paintbrush real quick. We're going to do our heart. Same red that I just did. All this red is still here. And then while we have the red still out, I'm going to use a yellow. Let's use this yellow. This is just plain yellow, apple barrel yellow, and I'm going to paint one leaf yellow and then paint both leaves yellow. But I'm going to actually use, let me see. Somewhere yonder. And it's a little spongy. So we're going to just use our yellow and we're going to dab both of our leaves. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with the red. Actually, I don't need this brush, so let's put this brush in here. And then I'm going to go in with the red. I'm just using the same right on top, and we're just going to trying to think which direction I want to do it in. I guess it really doesn't matter. Let's put some red in here. And we go back in with a little bit of the, lighten it up some. And we're just going to leave it like that. So it just kind of gives it a little bit of fall effect. We're going to leave the one color just like as it is, and we're going to leave the red. So I'm going to let that dry. Finished. Now for our, I'm going to use chestnut for this. Chestnut. I don't know what this is going to look like, but I am going to use the same thing, but I'm going to cut it off. So when you're done with this, you can just cut the tip off and you can reuse it. So we're going to find out what this looks like. Let's see. Oh, it's open. Ah, don't spill it. Making a mess more than anything. Brand new bottle, already ruined. Yeah. So let's take our little spongy again. And the reason why I'm using the sponge is because these score marks, I want to keep them. I want to make sure that they're there. So I'm putting on and taking a lot of it off, and we're just going to dab. If it's not even, I think I'm going to be okay with that. I'm fine with that. This is actually a very pretty color. I think I like that. I think that's going to look pretty. Now for the bottom portion, we're going to use our little cashew. This is Waverly Cashew. Love this color. Sometimes it dries a little bit too dark, but we're gonna see. Just take another sponge. See, I don't know why that's doing that. I think my thing's moving. And then we're just gonna take a little bit more. And again, that heart right there is just for the placement of the actual heart, so I'm not really concerned about it. I like to keep all my pieces on the tape. That way it's easier to paint them and maneuver around with them without getting your hands all dirty. I'm going to dry this really good because I'm going to sand this before I put the second coat on. It's pretty rough right there. Okay. Shake all the dust off. And we're going to put one more coat of this on. I think that's good. Put that in there. Let's put this lid back on. The only last piece we have to do is our white, and then we can glue it together, and I can show you. Well, we might, yeah, I don't know if there's going to be too much I'm going to do with embellishing on this one. I'm going to keep this pretty simple. I tried to do a few techniques here and there, but I think this one I'm just going to keep pretty simple. Get some of that cookies off here. Alright, let's get, I'm just going to get a little pouncer. We're going to get some white. And again, I'm just using some Apple Barrel plain white. You can use whatever paint you want to use, whether it be chalk paint. Trying to think, folk art. Trying to think of that one. That's a popular one. Michaels and Hobby Lobby both carry. I just was at Walmart, and I pick a lot up when I'm at Walmart. We get home delivery from Walmart, so sometimes it's just easier. Hey, add that to my order if I'm running low, and then I end up with a, stockpile. So it all works the same. Yes, some may seem a little bit thicker than others. If you ever have folk art and you find it's too thick and you need it watered down, just add a little bit of water. Just gonna go over this, and I'm gonna give this a good dry because we're gonna put another coat on it. This is just a little, I believe, some sort of makeup sponge. Just use whatever you got. I believe I got these off of Temu, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're really nice. However, the only thing is that they're a little bit tricky to clean. Not tricky, but time consuming. The paint seems to like suck up in there, and well, you seem like you're cleaning for days. So if you're definitely not into that, you'd rather just throw away, get your little sponges. They're so much easier. I do believe I have the sponges on my Amazon store. I can't remember what I have in my Amazon store anymore. I try to put things in my Amazon store that, would be what I use or what would be helpful for doing the crafts that I do. So if I use something, then I'll go over and stick it in my cart. Let me give this a dry and see if we need to add to another coat or not. One more coat just because I see a little bit of areas that I don't like how they're looking. And I might go in with a brush. Sometimes the pouncing doesn't always get it the way you want. going with just a little bit of brush here. It's just missing this one. Pick the pen up. It's putting little holies here, and I don't want the holies. I think that's good. All right, we got all our pieces painted. Now let's put it together. Get it dried really good, and then I can show you what they're going to look like in the frame. That is the actual fun part. And like I said, you do not have to have the frame or the fence in order to use any of these. You simply just put it on. But the fence and the frame actually are so cute. And the post actually is too. Like I said, I would show you that too. However, actually I think, however, I sold it and I didn't get a chance to make the new one. So, I probably will do that. But if you guys want to check out my website, like I said, there are different things that you can see over there, different kits that I've done. And if you are interested in any of them, you're more than welcome to message me. Facebook Messenger is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me through my business page on Facebook. If there's an email, I don't use it. I suck at email, and I don't want to ever think that I'm ignoring you. I just am awful at email. I think my email probably has like, oh, I don't know, 300,000, 600 and something messages. Let me know. Are you guys horrible with emails? I'm bad. I don't like to answer them. I don't like to look at them. I don't like to delete them. I would rather deal with texting and Messenger than, let's make sure that's covering up all of the spots. Messenger and texting. Is that what I said? I don't know what I said. Horrible. So I'm not using a lot of glue. I did, and I just got done doing a bottle, and then I cut it nicely, and I thought I didn't cut so much off, but I got another big hole. So it just comes out rather quickly. So I'm trying to be gentle with it. This is going to be so cute. All right, let's get our little heart. You don't need much. The only time I ever use a lot of glue is when I'm doing frames, because I want to make sure every bit of it is going to stay down. Like when you're laying something flat on here, you don't need to have glue on every single part. It really does hold well. There's no need for the excess glue. And so like when I do this letter, I'll show you. When I do this letter, I'm just going to do, well, first of all, I'm going to get that off there. What the heck's that? When I do it, I'm just going to put like a little bit here. And again, I have try not to squeeze out too much. And I did. A little bit here. A little bit here. A little bit here. A little bit here. And I'm just going to wipe this down because it's extremely a lot, because I cut this hole way too big. So, not much glue at all. Now we're going to lay this down on here. Looking cute, looking cute. And then I'm going to put our, and here's a tip too. Be mindful of when you're putting things on tape, because I always say don't pull your wood off of your tape. Pull your tape away from your wood. These things are 1/8 inch, but that doesn't mean they're, this is like connected, just like, you very easy can snap it. Let's put them upside down like this. Just like that, perfect. And I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get my old trusty this thing's like rock hard. I don't clean it, I just wipe it off. But I'm just gonna do a little tiny little thing right here. And then I'm gonna get my little, I don't know, scorer, but it's got nice little 2 little balls. I'm just going to use the little one, and if you dip once, and you just do dot, 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 and it just puts a little cute little thing on there. And I'm not going to do anything else to it. I think that looks perfect the way it is. I'm going to wipe this off. This is all I do, just wipe this off. I want it to be like a pencil. So I don't clean it, I just wipe it off and we just put it over there. It's the only thing I use it for. I'm going to clean this up. And clean this up. I'm going to dry this up. And now, the moment of truth. Are you guys ready? All right, we'll show you in this one first. So this is our little square frame. It holds the 4.25 interchangeables. And now this is not completely dry, so I'm not going to be all crazy with it. The glue. Looks amazing. Love it. Love how it looks. Tell me what you guys think. So for any of the interchangeables, I usually keep it something neutral. Just because, you know, you're going to put different things in here. Gray sometimes is a little, but I think this works. I think that looks really nice in there. I'm very happy with it. But let's see now what it's going to look like in our, let's take this one out. Love it. I think it looks perfect. So that's just 2 options, or you can just let it be alone. Or just, but there we go. That is our, I don't even know what kit to call this. I think this is our fall harvest kit. I think that's what it's called, the fall harvest kit. So there's 4 different ones in here. This is the gather one. And then there's 3 other ones. There's a Hello Fall, Pumpkin, and I think Sweater Weather. I think that's the other one. So if you're interested, you can just comment below and let me know. And that's it for tonight. You guys have an amazing rest of your night. Have an awesome tomorrow. And remember, thoughts become things, things become treasures. I'll see you in the next video.